Hello everyone, welcome to Halo Moon Tarot. This is your weekly reading for Capricorn. See what's coming in for Capricorn. What is it you need to know? I got a couple of cards here. I see movement forward. Yeah. Some of you are moving towards something new. I do see clarity and truth, but it's also saying to do your due diligence. Yeah, before you move forward, because there is an energy of needing some sort of truth here. And we have a pleasure. Now, I love this card. It shows an opportunity to go down this path, and you see an archway. So there's an opportunity here, but there's a deer, which shows someone here is somewhat apprehensive of taking this opportunity. Now, it could be yourself or someone you're dealing with. Yeah, I do see power. I do see this. Ooh, I love this card. A lot of electricity, 2 lightning bolts striking down at the same time. So this has to do with taking a situation to another level. But there is some apprehension. Yeah, so you can see here it's an energy of flow. There is some clarity coming. So it's a situation with someone who needs some kind of clarity. But I do see there is some sort of movement here, a little bit of flow. It's often emotional too. Yeah, that moon energy. So I do feel there's definitely this spark, this power. And I do feel it's somebody who wants to make a powerful move here. Yeah, this could be a work situation, any aspect of your life, but I feel like it's all about movement forward. Yeah, I feel we have someone here who has maybe some unfounded fear or possibly even a little regret to do with truth. So let's have a look at truth. Yeah, this is, someone may have ignored someone or rejected them. Now, this is an energy of someone who, you can see this person's in this tent, and there's a light on in there. And you can see the water is on the outside. So I feel what it's saying is, this is someone who'll move forward when they're ready. They're trusting their knowing. Yeah, but you can see there's some clarity. Someone's seeking clarity. And it has to do with truth. So if you've had someone who's ignored you or rejected you in some way, they definitely regret it. It's someone who probably should have done some due diligence. But the interesting part is they will move forward when they're ready. Yeah, because this is a person who follows their knowing. And you can see they're kind of in that tent. Yeah, we have someone here longing for love. It could be someone missing you. It could just be a crush here too. But yeah, there is definitely someone kind of reminiscing. This is a person I feel it should have done their due diligence, because then they would, they regret this rejection or ignoring you. Yeah, there was definitely some apprehension about taking this opportunity. It's just how someone's feeling, but they feel there's some sort of connection here. Let's have a look at pleasure. Yeah, you can see it's somebody here thinking negatively here. And you can see we have a person inside a tent and somebody outside. Someone being left out in the cold. So this person may have left you out in the cold, or they just felt this lack of negativity. Often it's a person who has insecurities. And that is definitely with that deer. Deer are elusive, they're shy. So yeah, and more apprehensive, I feel, than anything, because it's someone who maybe feels like they're not good enough, or maybe they feel they don't have enough money, but it is an energy of feeling left out in the cold. Could be a person who's been rejected before too, and it's often that fear of abandonment. We'll have a look at the power. Why is the power here? Yeah, so someone's pride got in the way. Yeah, you got an emperor here. So it has to do with someone whose pride got in the way. Someone who probably felt they couldn't provide or give you what you wanted. Yeah, but it was definitely their ego here. This is an emperor. So emperors often make things happen. This person will decide when they're ready. They're going to follow their knowing. And I feel it's almost like maybe knowing how you feel too. Or you didn't know how they felt. It could go that way. But yeah, this is a person here. They're going to make this happen. They're breaking free from this. This is someone who was thinking negative, They were looking at the Six of Wands like they're, this is something that won't go the distance. Yeah. But I do feel it is this energy. It's somebody here with this energy. You know, you can see we have these two people walking and the rain's pouring. You know, they're somewhat prepared here. So I kind of feel like this is somebody who maybe felt they weren't ready or prepared. But the interesting thing is now, because of the emotions are starting to flow, yeah, and they're gaining some kind of clarity here. So it has to do with making a move. Yeah, there was probably a little confusion, maybe just how they were feeling, but it has to do with this person planning, preparing, and hoping for the best here. So I do feel this is somebody who's just going to trust in their knowing about moving forward. Yeah, this is a person reflecting on a situation. This is someone having to learn to live in the moment, see taking risk. Emperors often calculate the risk before they move, but this is, and it could be someone who feels a bit like a fool, because I do feel they have regrets here, and it's likely all based on unfounded fear. And I feel they know this, but they've been kind of keeping this all to themselves. Now, this is someone getting ready to take a leap of faith. Yeah, you can see the Six of Swords. It's applying lessons learned. But it has to do with moving forward. I see things calming down, moving into calmer water. So there may have been something this person was dealing with. Tell me about the Four of Vessels. Yeah, so you have someone here who wasn't ready. Yeah. It's a person who's generally playful and flirty, and, you know, it's often good news. Now, if you're the person who came in this way and they rejected you, they may have felt that this is something that wouldn't last, here for a good time, not a long time. I do think this is someone who could have that abandonment, someone who's been left out in the cold before. But I do feel it's this person's looking at how you would feel. Yeah. They're looking at it. But this is someone going to make this happen here. They're looking back at everything that happened, how things played out. Tell me about the Six of Cups energy. This is somebody who longs for love. I do feel like they're lonely, feeling very much alone here. But whatever it is they were dealing with, it's sort of time in between, waiting for things to calm down, moving into calmer waters. And I do see this moving on from a situation. But it's an energy of someone wanting to grow closer. See, this is someone who knew there was an opportunity, and there's definitely regret. Yeah, so you can see justice. This is someone who didn't come in right. I do think this is someone who knows that they weren't being very fair, but it's about making things right. They want to make this right. I can see this person here, and they're going to make it happen. Emperors often do. Yeah, look at that. See, getting together, spending time together, doing things together. Company, companionship, but it's about going down this path. See, this is someone who kind of wasn't sure. They weren't ready to go down this path, for starters. But what they were feeling, I feel, is this is something that wasn't going to go anywhere. Like it would not go anywhere, but it wouldn't kind of stand the test of time, put it that way. It wouldn't go the distance. Now, this could be a long-distance situation. It could be a person here who, and I can see another scenario too, so just to make that clear, it has to do with the Three of Stones, things that you have in common, compatibility. It's about cooperating, compromising. It's about harmony between two people who complement each other. So I feel there's that energy. But if it is possible, this is a person who maybe felt you weren't the right person, but they certainly didn't go about this right. I mean, it wasn't fair, but it's about harmony. They want to make it right. And for some of you, it's someone who chose someone else. Maybe they were younger and that didn't go the distance. So there's definitely a lot of regret. And I do see there was a lot of confusion here. Things that were unknown. This person's in that energy, but you can see those emotions are flowing. This is someone who bottles things up inside. Tell me about the Three of Stones. Yeah, they're looking at this energy going down this path. Yeah, see, gaining momentum. It's about talking, communicating, opportunity. It's possible this person was very busy, overwhelmed. I wouldn't be surprised. And if they had multiple opportunities, I wouldn't be surprised they chose somebody else maybe that was younger. But like I say, it's something that doesn't last. Yeah. And I do feel it's an energy of learning to live in the moment. This person, applying lessons learned, they're looking at the risks. See, but they do feel like a fool. I do feel that. Yeah, their pride got in the way. Someone who kind of didn't want to look like a fool. So it's really interesting here, but they've learned a lot of lessons. And I really feel like this person, you can see this energy of change. Yeah, this person feels you've likely moved on. It's possible some of you have, but you can see the tables are turning. So in other words, like I say, and I do see there's multiple opportunities, feeling overwhelmed, too much of a good thing. But now, because the tables are turned, they feel like there's a lot that you probably have in common. Yeah. It's all about spending time doing things together. This is someone who sees someone who brings something to the table. I feel they may have, if they did choose someone younger, they didn't bring anything to the table. It didn't go the distance. But I don't feel that energy for most of you. It's just a person who felt you weren't right for them. But they want to make this right. So, yeah, I do think it bothers them, But this is someone who bottles things up inside. So, yeah, there was definitely some hurt and heartache. Maybe even a third-party situation. But there's hurt feelings. And I do think this is somebody who probably had been hurt at this time because there's this regret, all unfounded fears. Now, maybe this is someone who you had multiple opportunities, but it's someone who's ignoring something, like ignoring. And I do think it's ignoring, not just yourself if they rejected you, but ignoring how they were feeling because they're bottling it up inside. That's also the Four of Wands. See, it's all about their knowing. And this person will move. This is someone who's going to know exactly what to do here. It's an energy of wanting to make it right. It's about being fair. So this person hurt you. Yeah, you can see this energy. This is where this person was at. Yeah. And they're reminiscing. I mean, it's someone who longs for love, but I also wouldn't be surprised as this is someone who maybe you connected with this person when you were younger, or they're looking at their younger self, but this is someone who generally knows what they want and they go for it. So I feel, it's about going for it and going down this path. But this is all tables turning. So it's about making some kind of a move. And you can see this is somebody, a person of authority, the power. So they're going to make this happen. Whatever it is that they have to do here, they're going to do it. They are looking before they leap, and they are looking at the risks, but because the tables are turning, there's all this change and growth. Now, I wouldn't be surprised, too, that this is someone who's moved, relocated. Some sort of change, and it is closing a chapter, but whatever it is that happened, it changed this person forever. The King of Wands is an energy of someone who generally isn't afraid to take a risk, but I do think this is someone who's been there, done that. They've taken a lot of risks, and, things don't always go in their favor. So that's why I feel this person was in this energy. Yeah, they're releasing things that no longer serve, but it also has to do with this person. This is the energy of the Star. Now, this could be someone who's very popular, maybe well-known. They get a lot of attention. But it's an energy of hope and that the feelings are mutual. So I do think this person wants to make this right. But they are releasing all this. They're definitely feeling more hopeful. But it's about being in alignment. See, you weren't in alignment. You see, this is someone who kind of felt, well, I guess it isn't meant to be. But now, because the tables they're turning, they now see this different. So this is an energy of hope, charting the course. This is someone who should have followed their heart, because that energy is here. See, they woulda, shoulda, coulda. The Four of Wands in this. See, this is somebody who basically needs to let go of all this energy and release it. But this is someone who maybe felt that you didn't have their best interest at heart. And I do feel this person actually had your best interest at heart. They felt like they weren't good enough. They couldn't give you what you needed. Now, it is often an energy with someone who has high standards, or they felt you were out of their league. Yeah. This Emperor. Tell me more about this Emperor. This is someone who's leveled up. You can see they've leveled up a lot here. Yeah. Yeah, it's all about, and I do see people here. There is definitely some sort of opportunity coming up here. But this is about taking, see the pleasure, taking the opportunity that's presented. They regret not taking this opportunity. They are someone feeling lonely and lack. It's not a lack of money. I do think it's not so much lack of money. It's just about giving you what you need. And maybe you have very high standards. But I'm going to tell you, this person adores you. They really do. And I do feel if you've known this person and you've crossed paths a few times in your life, and I do see it when you're younger, and then, you know, the Page of Wands, the King of Wands, and now the Emperor. Yeah. I feel like, I mean, this person definitely, you know, it's just sort of like a lack of, there's no lack of opportunity for this person. I feel they're popular, but nothing goes the distance. And this is why I feel this person's reflecting on this. You see, they're seeing the truth. That moment of truth and enlightenment. It should have been someone who probably should have just told you the truth. But it's about what they were seeing. You know, they feel they missed this opportunity. Often an opportunity of a lifetime with the world. But yeah, definitely there's been a lot of change. Tell me about the world. Yeah, see, it's about laying the foundation. They want to make this right. So someone who didn't come in right. They weren't ready. I mean, and I do feel if you've crossed paths with this person a few times and it never kind of goes anywhere, it really has to do with this. And I wonder if this is someone who has fear of abandonment, you know, where things never seem to work out the way they're expecting, you know. Yeah. Tell me more about the Ace of Swords. This person sees truth. They're having that aha moment. Yeah, they've taken a little pause, see, looking at this from a different perspective. They didn't come in right. Now, because of this perspective, it's putting the shoe on the other foot, how they would feel. And you can see this person seeing the Five of Stones. Yeah. But this is definitely a missed opportunity. This is likely why this person took a risk and then ghosted you, ignored you. And then it's almost like they just felt like they weren't good enough and it wasn't meant to be. You weren't in alignment. Now I feel like you could be in alignment with this person. Yeah, they are looking at this from a different perspective. I feel they want to take action and communicate. And if this person has choices between two, they're definitely releasing someone and letting them go. It's not meant to be, because it is about harmony between two people. See, there was a lack of harmony. This is someone who's had a few opportunities and maybe even a few relationships. See that lack of harmony, lack of balance between two people, not in alignment. So this person's definitely, you know, looking at all this. They've learned a lot from this experience, I can tell you. But yeah, it's waiting for things to calm down. I do think this is someone who's been really busy. Definitely very busy. And I can see being overwhelmed at times too. But this is somebody who's about to make a powerful move. Yeah, they've gone deep with, see, leveling up, see, deep within their fold. And they should have told you the truth, how they felt overwhelmed emotionally. But this is also someone who loves somebody. So this is someone who should have told you the truth. Yeah. Like I say, I feel if you have high standards, maybe they felt they couldn't provide you with that, the kind of life that you deserve. And that's what I kind of feel, because they're putting the shoe on the other foot. Yeah, wow. This person definitely, you know, taking the plunge too. And I do think this is someone coming in. They're going to lay that foundation. They want to make this right. They just didn't go about things the right way. Wow, tell me more about the Ace of Stones here. Yeah, see, it's an energy of someone putting themselves in a position. See, this is about, you can see the salamander is protected here. It's about not putting themselves in a position of being taken advantage of. This person maybe thinks that you feel that they took advantage of you. but it is about reciprocating. Yeah, this person wants to reach out. They're hoping you're going to reciprocate. Yeah, it's a little test here. I think they have a little bit of fear now because the tables are turned that you'll reject them and they're going to feel like you did. And maybe this is what happened, where you actually said thanks but no thanks, you know. Yeah, but like I say, they're going to reach out here. So somebody here needs to be a little more generous with their time, putting more effort into communicating and spending more time together, doing things together. It's someone who needs to make that time. Wow, Capricorn, this person here, I mean, I see Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, energy, Aries, Leo, Sag. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a Scorpio when I see the King of Wands and the King of Vessels in a reading. Now, some of you may have had multiple opportunities as well. You may have decided to, you know, leave this person behind and take another opportunity. Yeah, but I do see this. There was a lack of reciprocity for someone here too. But the tables are turning, so now this is about reaching out. I do think this is someone, if you rejected this person because maybe they came back around, and it is possible someone coming back around, laying the foundation and you didn't reciprocate. I think they're just looking at how they would feel more than it happening, but some of you may have said thanks but no thanks. This person's deep within their emotions. I mean, this is about taking the plunge, going into very deep feelings. So this is someone's emotions are really flowing here. Yeah. I mean, it could be just this person. I feel they're just reminiscing, looking at how things played out, what happened, and why. And I do think they want to tell you why. Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely was some indecision. Unable to move forward. See, it's about moving forward. But what this person failed to see is all the things you have in common. They didn't see what was right in front of them. So this is someone who probably just didn't make a decision. And often that's what people do. Right? Is they just don't make a decision. And that's why it's like ignoring someone, ghosting them. I don't feel like this was probably their intentions. But again, like they're putting the shoe on the other foot now. Yeah, how it would feel if someone didn't reciprocate or ignored. Because I do feel this person is feeling that energy. Like they're definitely someone who's gone within here. My goodness. But yeah, it does look like making a decision. But see, they failed to recognize, they failed to see what you brought to the table, the things you have in common. Yeah. Definitely the energy of overwhelming too. I can see it, but it's just too much of a good thing. So this is someone who kind of felt, you know, they're kind of looking at the, you know, they were seeing some red flags there, and maybe these flags weren't really there. That's the thing, because you can see this regret. So this is somebody hoping for another chance, I feel, a do-over. Yeah. Whether you go for this or not is up to you, but it is about this person being more generous with their feelings, their emotions, their time, their energy, communication. See, generosity, because that's why the tables have turned. Yeah. And I do think because of this energy, this person is likely why they didn't want to take advantage. If you feel this person took advantage of you in some way, and I do think it's someone who has been taken advantage of before, you know, there's been hurt here. But what happens is they end up hurting you because of that. Wow, this person. Yeah, see, they want to talk, they want to connect. See, this connection. They feel there's a soulmate connection here. It's the two of you coming together, doing things together, spending time. See, it's all about learning. They didn't take the time to learn about the things you have in common. They weren't looking at it. They were definitely dealing with something here. It could have been a lack of money. I mean, it is possible, but it is somebody who has leveled up. They've been very busy, keeping busy, working. And this is someone who's going to also see an idea, and it's about creating the opportunity for the two of you to come together. Wow, this person. Yeah, look, we have the Queen of Cups. So this is about how the both of you feel. They're putting the shoe on the other foot. But I do think you will reciprocate him, you know. And what I feel this person, this regret is too, if you are open and you're open for other opportunities, and I wouldn't be surprised with that energy that you're now open for other opportunities. But this is about coupling up. They want to become a couple. They want to lay the foundation and make a commitment. Yeah. But I do think some of you will reciprocate. Others of you may just keep moving on. Some of you have already moved on. But yeah, this person's going to come in. It likely will happen when you least expect it. You may not see it coming. And that's what I feel. They didn't see this coming. And now the tables are turned. You may not. You may end up feeling like they did. Look at, there's the Empress. Yeah. See, this is about going down this path. This is two people I feel were on other paths. You weren't in alignment at this time. So now we have an Emperor and an Empress here. The Empress is generally open, kind, compassionate, somebody who's very balanced. And it has to do with being open to talk and communicate. So this person's feeling like there's hope here. Capricorn. Looks like there's going to be a choice to be made at some point here. And it has to do with whether you see a future with this person, if you want to go down this path. Some of you have changed, and this may have changed you forever, but I see two people who've gone through a lot of change, a lot of growth. There's a lot of abundance here. Yeah. Take care. We'll see you soon.